You will never rise higher than your standards. Asterisk, they say the sky's the limit, but that's a lie, because the sky is not your ceiling. Your ceiling is internal. It's invisible. It lives in your habits. It hides in your expectations. It lurks behind your excuses. And it shows itself every time you say, "This is good enough." Asterisk, but nothing extraordinary has ever come from good enough. You will never rise higher than your standards. A man who tolerates chaos will live in it. A woman who accepts disrespect will walk in rooms where she is invisible. And a soul that tolerates mediocrity will forever be denied the brilliance of its own potential. Asterisk, your life right now is a mirror, a reflection of what you've allowed, what you've permitted, what you've normalized. If your standards are low, don't be surprised when your life shrinks to match them. The universe doesn't give you what you ask for. It gives you what you demand. And what you demand is defined, not by your words, but by the rules you set for yourself when no one is watching. Asterisk, what do you refuse to tolerate? That answer shapes your life more than any degree, any plan, or any dream you scribbled on the back of a napkin. Asterisk, look at Edison. How many times did he fail before the light bulb? 10,000? That wasn't a man chasing success. That was a man refusing to accept the standard of failure. He set his threshold so high that defeat had to break its own bones trying to stop him. Edison didn't win because he was lucky. He won because he wouldn't accept a reality without victory. His standards wouldn't allow it. Asterisk and Carnegie, the Steel King. He grew up poor, no privilege, no advantage, but he held a vision so sharp, so demanding, that it sliced through the barriers of class, status, and limitation. He didn't build empires by chance. He built them because he decided that average would never have a seat at his table. Asterisk, and what about you? Asterisk, are your standards high enough to insult your excuses? Asterisk, when your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., who do you become in that moment? The version of you that hits snooze and negotiates with comfort? Or the version that springs up because comfort is the enemy of greatness? Your future is decided in those tiny unseen battles. That is where standards are revealed, not in public declarations, but in private discipline. Asterisk standards aren't slogans. They're sacred laws. Asterisk, they govern how you eat, how you think, how you love, how you grind, and how you lead yourself when no applause is coming. They're not flexible, they're not democratic, and they're not convenient, but they are transformative. Asterisk if you want to change your life, you must raise your standards before you raise your goals. You can't outdream your habits. You can't outrun your patterns. And you sure as hell can't build a legacy on soft expectations. Asterisk, you think Henry Ford just wanted to make a car? No, he wanted to change the way people moved. His standard wasn't speed, it was revolution. He rejected the limitations of his time. He didn't accept the horse and buggy as how things are. He set a new threshold, and the world bent to meet it. Asterisk, and still, most people live their lives like thermostats set by someone else, accepting conditions, adapting to environments, normalizing failure. They never ask themselves, what do I truly believe I deserve? Asterisk, because if you believed you were born for greatness, how could you ever settle for comfort? Asterisk, if you believed you were built for leadership, how could you keep hiding behind excuses? Asterisk, if you believed your life had meaning, how could you let another day pass without demanding more from yourself? Asterisk, listen carefully, because this is where everything shifts. Your self-respect is tied to your standards. When you lower your standards, you teach yourself that your word means nothing. You whisper to your own soul, you're not worth the effort. And every time you betray your own expectations, Your power erodes like a mountain swallowed by waves. Asterisk. But when you raise your standards and live by them, something happens. You begin to walk differently. You speak differently. You think like a commander of your destiny, not a victim of your circumstances. You radiate certainty, not because you know the outcome, but because you refuse to accept anything less than your best. Asterisk, let me be clear. Raising your standards is not about perfection. It's about precision. It's about clarity. It's about looking yourself in the mirror and declaring, I don't care how hard it gets. I will never again live beneath my values. Asterisk, that is the line. That is the moment. And once it's drawn, you do not cross it. Not for laziness. Not for fear. Not for a quick fix or a second of comfort. Because when your standards become non-negotiable, your life becomes unstoppable. Asterisk, asterisk.